Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to look at um, a problem that all readers struggle with, but we're going to find a solution that strong readers do to get through and persevere through that problem. And so today we're going to look at context clues. And context clues are tools, tools that strong readers use to determine the meaning of unknown words. All right. So, tools that strong readers use to determine the meaning of unknown words. And so, how do we do this? Well, I have a couple ideas. How do we go from confused to happy? With a couple of ideas. What I want you to do is in the remainder of your notes, page, I want you to split into thirds, similar to what I'm about to do. So we're going to make a chart that tells us the different ways that we can, the different context clue tools that there are. And so we're going to use the acronym IDEAS. So how do we go from I don't know to happy and we figured it out? With our ideas. So I stands for inference. I stands for inference. And the inference, so this means that the meaning is not given. So you must use text clues. You must use the text. All right? So you must use the text to figure that out. So, for example, we take this right here. You don't want to work with Rick. He only talks about himself. He is so arrogant. And so, if arrogant is the word that we're not sure what it means, well, we can use the text around it to figure it out. So, we're reading this text and we can assume that, well, we don't want to work with Rick, so arrogant must be something bad. And if he only talks about himself and that's the only thing that it's talking about, then arrogant must mean someone that is arrogant only talks about themselves. They're full of themselves. And so I stands for inference. I stands for inference. The second one is D stands for definition. D stands for definition. All right. Definition. The meaning of the word is explained in the sentence. The meaning of the word is explained in the sentence. So, using Rick and arrogant again. Rick is so arrogant. He thinks he thinks he is more important than everyone else. All right. So, Rick is so arrogant, he thinks he is more important than everyone else. And so, again, the definition is in the following sentence. So, again, if we're saying we don't know what arrogant means, well, Rick is so arrogant. The next sentence explains what arrogant means. He thinks he is more important than everyone else. So, based on that sentence, we can assume that arrogance is when you think you are more important than everyone else. And so that's our second context clue tool, definition. So tool number one was to make an inference. Tool number two is to look for the definition. All right? The meaning of the word is explained in the sentence. Number three, E is for example. E is for example. And an example of the word is in the sentence or nearby. All right, so an example of the word is in the sentence or it is nearby. So again, we're going to look at Rick and how arrogant he is. All right. Rick is so arrogant. Okay, Rick is so arrogant. He always brags about himself. All right. So again, assuming we don't know what arrogant means, the next sentence gives an example of what arrogant people do. So Rick is so arrogant, he always brags about himself. Well, people that always brag about themselves and don't talk about anybody else tend to think that they're better than everyone else. So maybe being arrogant means to think you're better than somebody else. All right. So our third tool is example. If we can't make an inference and we don't see the definition, we can use our third tool, which is to look for an example. The A stands for antonym. Antonym is a word with the opposite meaning is nearby. A word with the opposite meaning is nearby. And so again, Rick is so arrogant. All right, Rick is so arrogant. He needs to learn to be more humble like his brother. All right, so Rick is so arrogant, he needs to learn to be more humble like his brother. So again, even if we don't know what humble means, if we don't know what humble means, maybe we can use one of our other context clue tools to figure out what arrogant means. And then we can use the sentences right here and tell that Rick is not like his brother. And so we know humble is the opposite. So then we can try and figure out what humble means. But if you do know what humble means and you don't know what arrogant means, well, based on these sentences, you can see that they're opposites, that they're going to mean the opposite of one another. So if Rick is so arrogant and he needs to learn to be more humble like his brother, we know that arrogant is the opposite of humble. Humble means that you care about everyone else and you recognize everyone else and how good they are. So arrogant is when you're full of yourself and you don't care about anybody else, because we knew what humble meant and we knew that Rick needed to learn to be more humble. So antonym is the A and is our fourth tool in our context clue tool belt. All right, so we have inference, we have definition, we have example, we have antonym, and the last one, the S, is synonym. Synonym. And so I'm sure you can figure out that if an antonym is a word with the opposite meaning, then a synonym is a word with a similar meaning. So a synonym context clue, you're looking for a word with a similar meaning nearby. And you can remember that similar and synonym both start with an S. All right, so a word with a similar meaning is nearby. All right, so again, Rick is so arrogant. Rick is so arrogant, proud, self-centered, and overbearing. All right, and so again, all of these words, if you don't know what arrogant means, but you know someone that's proud, self-centered, and overbearing, you can use those words and assume they have similar meanings. And so if you know that self-centered means that you only care about yourself and you don't care about others, then you can assume that an arrogant person feels the same way. All right, so again, the goal of today was to understand our context clues. and you know that we have 5 different tools that we can use, 5 different ideas that we have to determine the meaning of those unknown words. And if we use our 5 idea tools, all right, that will make us stronger readers because we can determine what these words that we don't know means. All right? So, remember when you're reading the text that you have these 5 tools. Look for one of your 5 ideas to help you figure out what those words mean. We're going to practice this. You have an assignment on Canvas. You can always reach out to me if you have any questions. Good luck. Let me know if you need help, and have a great day.